Welcome to the Reddit Family to Us YouTube channel, a place where genuine and inspiring family stories are shared. Here, you'll enjoy unique videos about family life, humorous moments, and meaningful lessons. Let's explore together the stories where love and connection shine through. Join us in creating beautiful memories. Please comment and let us know where you're watching from. Hit subscribe now so you won't miss the special video launching tomorrow. Breaking the Chains of Family Duty. My story of escape, guilt, and ultimate freedom. Growing up in a quaint suburban New England neighborhood, I, Emily, always felt that my life was irrevocably defined by the constant comparison to my older sister, Olivia, who, at 40 years old, was invariably celebrated as the golden child of our family. From the earliest memories of my childhood, every birthday, academic achievement, and personal milestone was overshadowed by Olivia's accomplishments, leaving me with a persistent sense of invisibility and longing for recognition. Our parents, whose hearts swelled with pride every time Olivia succeeded, would lavish her with praise and bestow upon her opportunities that I could only dream of, while my own small victories seemed to pass unnoticed, as if they were trivial in the grand scheme of our family's narrative. As I navigated the challenges of school, I discovered that no matter how hard I tried or how brightly I shone, the spotlight was always fixed on Olivia, whose every success was celebrated with an enthusiasm that made me question my own worth, and even family gatherings were particularly poignant, with festive occasions and holiday dinners dominated by stories of Olivia's achievements, leaving little room for any mention of my own efforts or dreams. Even when I reached adulthood at 34, embarking on my own career and forging personal relationships, the indelible imprint of the childhood favoritism remained, casting a long shadow over my sense of identity. I began to internalize the belief that my life was merely an understudy to Olivia's star performance, a notion that haunted me in moments of doubt and self-criticism. Despite these challenges, I have gradually learned to embrace my individuality and value my own accomplishments. Yet the memories of a family hierarchy that placed Olivia on a pedestal continue to influence my interactions and self-esteem, driving me to seek validation from my own determination and resilience rather than from a structure steeped in favoritism. In reflecting on my past, I recognize that the constant comparison and emphasis on Olivia's achievements were not a reflection of my inadequacy but rather a symptom of an unbalanced dynamic that I am determined to redefine as I move forward in life. Every day, I work to rewrite the narrative of my own worth, ensuring that my voice is heard and my achievements celebrated, independent of the shadow cast by Olivia's perpetual brilliance. I cherish my journey towards self-empowerment and growth. Every birthday, graduation, and hard-won achievement of mine was forever overshadowed by Olivia's glittering milestones, creating a narrative in our family that left little room for my own moments of triumph. As I grew older, this relentless pattern became not only painfully familiar but also deeply disheartening, setting the stage for a lifetime of quiet resentment and simmering tension. I remember vividly the day of my high school art contest, when I proudly displayed a painting I had poured my heart into, only to watch as my parents' eyes lit up not with admiration for my work, but with the same gleam reserved for Olivia's latest accolade. It was as if my creative expression was merely a footnote in the epic story of her life. At family gatherings, while Olivia's accomplishments were heralded like a season finale full of excitement and praise, my own successes were met with fleeting acknowledgments, a half-hearted "that's nice," dear that barely registered over the thunderous ovation for her latest debate team victory. The pattern was relentless. A series of carefully orchestrated celebrations where the spotlight was never meant to shine on me. Even on my birthday, when I had hoped for recognition of my own journey, the conversation inevitably turned to the upcoming announcement of Olivia's new project or her recent career breakthrough, leaving me to retreat into a quiet corner with a mix of disappointment and determination. In those moments, the air in our home felt heavy with unspoken comparisons, Each comment and compliment for Olivia stinging like a reminder that my hard work, though genuine and painstaking, was considered secondary. It wasn't merely a matter of familial favoritism, but a systemic undervaluation of my individuality, an unyielding narrative that questioned the worth of my accomplishments. This cycle of overshadowed milestones not only molded my self-esteem but also instilled in me a fierce desire to break free from a legacy of neglect. The growing pressure of having to perform in the background, while someone else's light shone so brightly, eventually pushed me towards seeking validation in my own terms, and fueled the decision to embrace a future where my achievements, no matter how modest, could finally be celebrated as the genuine reflections of my hard-earned success. After years of feeling undervalued by a family structure that always celebrated my sister's triumphs while mine were relegated to the background, I reached a breaking point. Every unacknowledged achievement, every overlooked moment of pride had built up into an overwhelming need for change. In the midst of endless family gatherings where the conversation inevitably turned to Olivia's latest success, I began to dream of a way out, a secret escape that would allow me to finally reclaim my own identity. One humid summer evening, after yet another dinner dominated by the praises and accolades meant solely for her, I made the decision that I could no longer allow myself to be a mere footnote in our family's story. I meticulously researched small, unpretentious beach resorts in Florida, drawn by the promise of a balmy 80 degrees Fahrenheit climate and the soothing sounds of crashing waves, which together offered a stark contrast to the stifling expectations that had defined my life. In a series of discreet, adrenaline-fueled actions, I arranged for time off at work without alerting anyone and slowly began to plan every detail of my getaway. I chose dates when I knew my family would be too occupied with their own commitments to notice my absence, and I carefully saved every spare dollar for the journey ahead. As I packed my bags in secret, my heart pounded with a mixture of exhilaration and trepidation. The thought of leaving behind decades of self-sacrifice was both liberating and terrifying. I envisioned days spent wandering along secluded beaches, evenings listening to the gentle lullaby of the ocean, and long moments of solitude where I could finally immerse myself in the activities I had long suppressed, reading, writing, and simply being. The escape was not merely a vacation, but a deliberate, courageous step towards a new life where my voice and my achievements would no longer be overshadowed by someone else's brilliance. It was a silent declaration of independence, a rebellion against a legacy of neglect. With every carefully orchestrated detail of my secret retreat, I felt the chains of obligation begin to loosen, replaced by the tantalizing promise of freedom and the discovery of who I was meant to be. During the first days of my secret getaway, the freedom of my solitude mixed with a profound sense of ambivalence that both invigorated and unsettled me. Each morning, as the soft hum of the ocean greeted my awakening, I experienced an exhilarating rush of independence, yet it was tinged with an undercurrent of guilt, a constant reminder of the family I had left behind with their unyielding expectations and incessant demands. As I roamed the quiet shores of my secluded Florida retreat, the gentle crash of waves against the sandy beach echoed the tumult of emotions stirring within me, and with every step, I felt the weight of years spent sacrificing my own dreams while finally savoring the vibrant pulse of a life lived on my own terms. In this serene isolation, I indulged in simple pleasures that had long been out of reach. The uninterrupted joy of reading a novel that transported me to distant worlds, the cathartic act of journaling my innermost thoughts with raw honesty, and even the daring thrill of an impromptu surfing lesson that sent adrenaline surges through my veins, affirming that I was capable of seizing the moment. Yet, as much as these experiences filled me with a newfound vitality, an undeniable pang of remorse lingered in quiet moments when I gazed out at the endless horizon, wondering if the price of autonomy was a lifetime of regret for the lost chance to reconcile with the family that had defined me, even if their influence had been overwhelmingly oppressive. Every hour of solitude felt like a double-edged sword, slicing through both my spirit and heart, for the liberation I craved also carried the sting of alienation. In that delicate interplay between joy and sorrow, I slowly came to understand that true freedom was not merely an escape from the past, but a complex journey of embracing the full spectrum of my emotions, where moments of unbridled delight were forever intertwined with echoes of responsibility and loss. Standing on that warm, sunlit beach, with the ocean's rhythmic cadence as my only companion, I realized that my path toward self-discovery demanded accepting the bittersweet reality of my feelings. It was a courageous balancing act between savoring the present and reconciling with the memories of a life overshadowed. Yet finally, in that bittersweet union of exhilaration and melancholy, I began to reclaim the narrative of my own existence. In the aftermath of that transformative escape, I found myself standing at the crossroads of my old life and a new, uncharted future. The echoes of my solitary getaway still reverberated in my mind, urging me to rebuild on my own terms. Determined to shed the weight of familial expectations and the decades-long shadow of favoritism, I moved into a modern apartment in a lively part of the city, a modest yet vibrant sanctuary that promised both safety and a fresh start. As I unpacked my belongings, each carefully chosen item symbolized my commitment to a life defined by my own values, not by the relentless demands of a family that had long overlooked my achievements. Embracing this newfound independence, I enrolled in therapy, a decision that was both daunting and liberating. In those sessions, I began peeling back layers of guilt and self-doubt, finally confronting the emotional scars left by years of being second best. With every conversation, I reclaimed parts of myself that had been suppressed by the constant need to cater to someone else's brilliance, and I started to envision a future where my voice would matter. Simultaneously, I threw myself into hobbies that had once been sacrificed on the altar of family obligations. I joined a local pottery class where the tactile art of molding clay became a metaphor for reshaping my identity, and I attended weekend book clubs that connected me with individuals who celebrated my passions without judgment. At work, the renewed focus and confidence radiating from this internal transformation did not go unnoticed. A promotion came as a welcome validation of my skills, and my colleagues began to see me not as the family's backup option, but as a capable professional with unique talents. Yet, even amid these victories, the pull of my past was never far away. The occasional guilt-laden text, a probing phone call from home, or a comment that hinted at my previous role as the dependable fallback tested my resolve. Each challenge, however, only steeled my determination to set clear boundaries and prioritize my own well-being. Slowly, I built a life that honored my dreams over old expectations. As I sat in my apartment one evening, watching the city lights shimmer with possibility, I realized that this journey of rebuilding was not merely an act of defiance, but the courageous birth of a future that was entirely my own. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. Do you think Emily made the right choice in setting boundaries and prioritizing herself? Has anyone else experienced something similar with family expectations? Please feel free to share your thoughts or any advice you have in the comments below. Your perspective means a lot to me. Trong yeah a lot. Thank you for listening to my story. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about breaking free from old family expectations? Have you ever had to forge your own path despite feeling overlooked? Please share your experiences, opinions, or even any questions in the comments below. Your insights are invaluable, and I'm excited to continue this conversation with you. Your feedback might just help someone else feel less alone in their journey. So don't be shy, join the discussion and let's support one another in our pursuit of true independence and self-discovery.